Here's an email I just got in called Cheap Tomatoes, and I think the whole idea is that you want all these illegal aliens in because we get free, cheaper, less expensive food. Of course, I grow most of my own food, so I don't know what the hell that means to me. Cheap tomatoes, here we go. This English teacher has phrased it the best I've seen yet. Tomatoes and cheap labor. Cheap tomatoes, this should make everyone think, be you Democrat, Republican, or Independent. From a California school teacher. Are you listening to the news about the student protests over illegal immigration? There are some things that you should be aware of. I am in charge of the English as a second language department at Southern High School, which is designated a Title I school, meaning that the students average lower socioeconomic and income levels. Most of the schools you are hearing about, Southgate High, Bell Gardens, Huntington Park, etc., where these students are protesting, are also Title I schools. Title I schools are on a free breakfast and free lunch program. When I say free breakfast, I'm not talking about milk, glass of milk and a roll, but a full breakfast of cereal bar, fruits, and juices that would make a Marriott proud. The waste of this food is monumental, with trays and trays of it being dumped in the trash uneaten. I estimate that well over 50% of these students are obese or at least moderately overweight. About 6%. These schools also provides daycare centers for the unwed teenage mothers, some as young as 13, so they can attend class without the inconvenience of having to arrange babysitters or having family watch over their kids. I was ordered to spend $700,000 on my department or risk losing funding for an upcoming year, even though there was little need for anything. My budget was already substantial. I ended up buying new computers for a new computer learning center, half of which 1 month later have been carved with graffiti by the appreciative students who obviously feel humbled and grateful to have a free education in America. I have to intervene several times for young and substitute teachers whose classes consist of many illegal students here in the country less than 3 months, who raised so much hell with female teachers calling them putas or whores and throwing things that the teachers were in tears. Free medical, free education, free food, daycare, etc., etc., etc. It is all any wonder they feel entitled not only to be in this country, but to demand rights and privileges and entitled. To those who want to point out how much these illegal immigrants contribute to our society because they like their gardener and housekeeper and they like to pay less for tomatoes, spend some time in the real world of illegal immigration and see the true costs. Higher insurance, medical facilities closing, higher medical costs, more crime, lower standards of education in our schools, overcrowding. For me, I'll pay more for tomatoes. Americans, we need to wake up. It does, however, have everything to do with culture. It involves an American third world culture that does not value education, that accepts children getting pregnant and dropping out of school by 15, and that refuses to assimilate in an American culture so that has become so weak and worried about political correctness that we don't have the will to do anything about it. If this makes your blood boil, it did mine. Forward this to anyone you know. Cheap labor, isn't that what the whole immigration issue is all about? Business does not want to pay decent wages. Consumers don't want expensive produce. Government will tell you they don't want jobs. But the bottom line is cheap labor. The phrase cheap labor is a myth. It is a farce a lie. There's no such thing as cheap labor. Take, for an example, an illegal alien with a wife and 5 children. He takes a job for $5 or $6 an hour. At that wage, with 60, he pays no income tax. Yet at the end of the year, he files an income tax return. He gets an earned income credit of up to $3,200. He qualifies for Section 8 housing and subsidized rent. He qualifies for food stamps. He qualifies for free, no deductible, no copay health insurance care. His children get free breakfast and lunch at school. He requires bilingual teachers and books. He requires relief from high energy bills. They qualify for SSI. If qualified for SSI, they can qualify for Medicare. And all of that at our taxpayers' end. He doesn't worry about a car insurance, life insurance, or homeowner's insurance. Taxpayers provide family and material. And he and his family receive an equivalent of $20 to $30 an hour in benefits. Working Americans are lucky to have $5 to $6 an hour jobs left after paying their bills and his. Cheap labor? Yeah, right. To the congressional members of either party, and when they lie to us and don't do as they say, we should replace them at. This has got to be passed along to as many possible, or we will all go down the drain because of a few don't care. Anyhow, this is pretty much online as to what's going on in this country. I have nothing against people who come here legally, and that's what America is made out of. A lot of people love free, but these people don't love this country. And I think that, well, I won't go into it, but have a nice day.